The moment you lose everything is when you are truly ready to succeed. You might think that losing everything is a bad thing, something to be avoided. It feels like the end of the world, doesn't it? The sinking feeling when you realize that all your hard work, all your plans, all your expectations are slipping away. You think, this is it, I've hit rock bottom. But what if I told you that this moment, this exact moment when you feel like you've lost everything, is actually the moment you are truly ready to succeed? Think about it for a second. Losing everything forces you to face who you really are. It strips away all the distractions, the illusions, the things you thought defined you. And in that raw, unfiltered space, you're left with something powerful. You're left with yourself, without the masks, without the pretenses. Just you. And that's where the real power lies. In the rush of everyday life, we often get caught up in things that don't matter. We chase after external validation, whether it's through money, success, status, or even the approval of others. We start believing that these things are the measure of who we are. But when everything falls apart, those things fade away. And what we're left with is the only thing that really matters, our own strength and our ability to rise from the ashes. Losing everything can feel devastating, but it's also the moment of clarity. It's the moment you realize that true success doesn't come from accumulating more things or climbing higher in your career. True success comes from how you respond when you hit rock bottom. It comes from your ability to stand tall even when everything around you is crumbling. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced personal tragedies, wars, and political turmoil throughout his life. But what made him truly wise was his ability to find peace and strength in the chaos. He wrote in his journal, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." But instead of feeling defeated, he used this awareness to prepare his mind for strength. It wasn't about avoiding adversity, it was about embracing it and using it to become stronger. You might be wondering, how can losing everything possibly lead to success? Well, when you lose everything, you stop caring about the superficial stuff. You stop being distracted by other people's opinions, by social media, by the constant pressure to be perfect. Instead, you start to focus inward on what truly matters, your growth, your mindset, and your resilience. This is your opportunity to shift your mindset. When everything falls apart, you realize you can't control everything around you. But you can control how you respond to it. And that response is where your real power lies. The truth is, success is not about avoiding failure or preventing setbacks. It's about how you handle those setbacks, how you choose to rise every time life knocks you down. Every time you face a challenge, it's an opportunity to grow. Every time you lose something, it's an opportunity to discover a new version of yourself, one that's stronger, wiser, and more purposeful. When you lose everything, you might feel lost at first. It's natural. But the important thing is that you don't stay lost. You find your way. And in that process, you become who you were always meant to be. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. They didn't see hardship as something to avoid. They saw it as a tool for building character and inner strength. They didn't fear losing everything, because they knew that even in loss, there was growth. The moment you lose everything is the moment you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop feeling like life is happening to you, and you start realizing that you can choose how to respond. You choose to rise from the ashes and become the person you were always meant to be. So, if you're going through a tough time right now, if you feel like you've lost everything, know that this is not the end. This is the moment when you are truly ready to succeed. This is the moment when you can turn the pain, the frustration, and the fear into strength. Don't be afraid of losing everything. Embrace it. Because when you lose everything, you find the one thing that's always been inside you, your inner power. At the moment of loss, you are no longer distracted by the noise of the world. When everything falls apart, you suddenly have the space to ask yourself, who am I without all these things? You stop defining yourself by your job, your possessions, or your accomplishments. You realize that none of these things truly define your worth. Your worth is not tied to what you have, it's tied to who you are at your core. Now, this realization can be a bit overwhelming. It's easy to feel like you're adrift without a sense of direction. You might feel like you've lost your purpose. But this is exactly where the power lies. When you lose everything, you are free from all the distractions, and you are forced to reconnect with what matters most. You are forced to reconnect with yourself. This moment is not one to fear. This is the moment that transformation begins. It's when you can look inward and begin to ask the tough questions. It's when you stop looking for answers outside of yourself and start finding the answers within. This is when your real strength is forged, not in the things you've lost, but in the power you find in yourself to rise again. Your past doesn't define you. Sure, it's part of your story, but it doesn't have the final say. You might have made mistakes. You might have stumbled. You might have lost your way a few times. But none of that means you can't start anew. You don't have to carry the weight of your past into your future. It's time to let go of those old stories that say you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that you'll always be a victim of your circumstances. When you've lost everything, you're at the perfect starting point. You can now rewrite your story. No longer confined by the expectations of others or the illusions of success, you have the opportunity to define your path. The slate is wiped clean. This is your fresh start. The Stoics believed in the concept of Amor Fati, or love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens, whether good or bad, as part of the plan. The Stoics didn't shy away from life's difficulties, they embraced them. They saw every challenge as a chance to grow stronger. And when you lose everything, you have the chance to embrace the struggle and turn it into something powerful. So, what does this mean for you? It means that your struggle is not a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. Every loss, every setback, every failure is an opportunity for you to learn, to adapt, and to grow. This is how you build the kind of unshakable strength that will carry you through the toughest times. This is how you build the resilience to keep going even when everything feels like it's falling apart. You're not broken. You're becoming stronger. You're forging your character, and this will be the foundation of your future success. When you lose everything, you gain the one thing that no one can ever take away from you: your inner strength. It's time to stop waiting for the world to hand you success. Success is built from within. It's created when you decide to take control of your life, when you choose to act even when you feel lost, and when you make the decision that you are going to rise again, no matter what. What you've been through doesn't define you. It's what you do next that will determine your future. When you stand back up, when you face the world with a renewed mindset, that's when you truly begin to succeed. And this is the real test. Can you keep moving forward after everything has fallen apart? The Stoics also taught us about control, what you can and cannot control. You can't control external circumstances. You can't control the past. But you can control your response to those circumstances. You can control your mindset. And it's this control over your mind, your actions, and your responses that will lead to true success. Every day is a new opportunity to make the choice. Will you stay down, or will you rise again? The world is full of challenges. And yes, you might fall down again. But the key is how you respond. The moment you lose everything is when you're ready to change. It's when you are truly ready to become the person you were always meant to be. And here's the most important thing you'll ever learn. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you handle the failures that come your way. It's about getting back up every time life knocks you down. It's easy to think that success is for the lucky ones, for those who never face defeat or struggle. But the reality is that everyone who has ever achieved anything meaningful has gone through loss, hardship, and failure. Success is not reserved for the people who've had smooth paths. It's earned by those who've faced the worst and kept going. The difference between those who thrive and those who never make it isn't talent, it's resilience. You see, the journey towards success isn't about avoiding pain. It's about using pain as fuel. It's about learning to embrace discomfort and knowing that with every challenge you face, you become stronger. The strength you need to succeed is forged in the fire of adversity. Without the fire, there can be no strength. Think of the greatest figures in history, the people who've truly left a mark on the world. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, lived through war, personal loss, and political unrest. He faced betrayal, exile, and countless challenges, yet he is still remembered today as one of the wisest and most influential leaders to ever live. Why? Because he didn't run from the difficulties of life. He didn't let pain and loss define him. He chose to learn from them, to grow stronger through them, and to keep moving forward. That's what made him great. And it's the same with you. The person you are becoming isn't defined by your losses, it's defined by how you respond to them. It's about your attitude in the face of adversity. The world is full of setbacks. But you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. You can choose to rise above them. When you lose everything, you are faced with two choices. You can let it defeat you, or you can let it transform you. The moment you lose everything is the moment you get to choose who you become. You can choose to be a victim, to let life dictate your emotions, your actions, and your future. Or you can choose to take control, to rise from the ashes, and to create the life you've always wanted. This is the true meaning of freedom. Freedom isn't about having all the money, all the success, or all the comfort in the world. Freedom is about having the power to choose how you respond to life. It's about having the strength to face your struggles head-on without letting them control you. It's about being unstoppable, no matter what the world throws your way. But this freedom comes at a price. It requires discipline. It requires commitment to your own growth. It requires the ability to look at the world and say, I will not be defined by what happens to me. I will define myself by how I respond. The Stoics weren't just philosophers. They were warriors of the mind. They understood that strength comes not from avoiding challenges, but from embracing them. They didn't seek comfort, they sought growth. They knew that the road to greatness is paved with hardship, but it's also paved with resilience, self-control, and the unwavering belief that you can rise again, no matter how many times you fall. And you can do the same. Every time life knocks you down, you have the choice to get up. Every time you face a setback, you have the opportunity to grow. Failure is not the end, it's simply a lesson. Every mistake is a stepping stone on the path to success, and every time you rise, you become stronger. So, the next time you lose everything, don't let it destroy you. Let it build you. Don't run from the pain. Lean into it. Understand that every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. Every challenge is a chance to build the resilience you need to succeed. You are becoming the person you need to be to achieve greatness. Now here's the key. Success isn't about being perfect. It's not about never failing or always having things go according to plan. It's about having the courage to keep going, no matter how many times you fall. It's about developing the strength to rise again, to learn from your failures, and to use them as stepping stones. When you lose everything, you discover something incredibly powerful. You discover that you are not your circumstances. Your circumstances do not define who you are. They don't determine your worth. What defines you is how you rise from them. The real test is how you respond when everything goes wrong. How do you handle the moments when life throws you a curveball? How do you react when things fall apart? These moments are the true measure of your character. It's in these moments that you find out what you're really made of. And here's the truth. The path to success is never a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, obstacles, and setbacks. But every time you face a challenge, you gain something. Strength, wisdom, and experience that make you better prepared for the next one. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to improve. This is where true success begins, in your ability to persevere in the face of adversity. It's in your willingness to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's in your decision to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like you've lost everything. Success is built in the struggle. It's created by those who choose to keep fighting no matter what. You are stronger than you think. Most people quit when things get hard. They stop trying when they face failure. But the people who succeed, the people who build the life they want, are the ones who keep going. They don't let failure define them. They don't let setbacks stop them. They use failure as fuel to drive them forward. And they keep moving forward until they reach their destination. The moment you lose everything is the moment when you realize that you have nothing to lose. This is the moment when fear stops holding you back. This is the moment when you realize that the only way is up. This is the moment when you have the freedom to create the life you've always wanted. When you stop fearing failure, when you stop being afraid of losing, that's when you gain the power to succeed. Because success is not about never failing, it's about how many times you get up after you fall. So rise. Rise from the ashes of your past. Rise from the pain of your failures. Rise from the doubts that have held you back. And know that every step you take forward, no matter how small, is progress. Every moment you choose to keep going, even when you've lost everything, is a victory. The moment you lose everything is the moment when you are finally free. You are free from the expectations of others. You are free from the weight of your past. You are free to create the future you've always dreamed of. Embrace the struggle. Embrace the discomfort, and most importantly, embrace the power within you to overcome it all. The beauty of losing everything is that it forces you to redefine success. We often associate success with external achievements, money, status, power, but these things are temporary. They can come and go in the blink of an eye. True success, however, is something that comes from within. It's built on the foundation of resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to adapt. When you lose everything, you're no longer focused on the superficial markers of success. You stop looking for external validation, and you start asking yourself, what really matters to me? You begin to realize that success is not about accumulating things, but about living a life aligned with your values. One that feels meaningful and purposeful. In this moment of loss, you have the opportunity to change your direction. This is your chance to rebuild, not from a place of weakness, but from a place of strength. You now have the power to shape your future, to decide who you want to become, and to take the necessary steps to create that version of yourself. And here's the thing, your journey is yours and yours alone. It doesn't matter how others are doing or how far ahead they seem. The only thing that matters is that you take one step forward, no matter how small, every single day. And with each step, you get closer to your goal, closer to the person you want to be. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's a journey that requires patience, perseverance, and the willingness to face adversity head on. It's about pushing through the doubt, the fear, and the setbacks. Knowing that on the other side of those challenges, you'll find the strength to keep moving forward. The Stoics believed that everything in life happens for a reason, and that every setback, every failure is an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. This means that the obstacles we face aren't there to stop us. They're there to help us grow. They are the building blocks of our success. So the next time you face a challenge, remember that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow stronger. And the more you embrace these challenges, the more you will transform. You'll discover that every obstacle is not a setback, but a step forward. Trust in the process. Trust that you are becoming the person you need to be in order to succeed. And when you look back, you'll realize that the struggles you faced were the very things that made you unbreakable. Remember, you are not defined by what you've lost. You are defined by how you rise. It's in the moments of loss, pain, and failure that you find your true strength. It's when everything falls apart that you finally realize you have the power to put it all back together. There's something incredibly freeing about hitting rock bottom. It's the moment when you realize you've got nothing left to lose. It's the moment when you stop pretending to be something you're not and start being authentically you. When you lose everything, the pressure to impress, to conform, and to live up to others' expectations disappears. And in that space, you find the freedom to create a life that's truly your own. It's no longer about competing with others or proving your worth. It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery, finding out who you are when all the distractions fall away. But here's the catch. Freedom doesn't come from having everything. It comes from releasing the things that hold you back. It comes from letting go of the things that no longer serve you, the possessions, the people, the expectations that tie you to a life you never truly wanted. Losing everything is the ultimate wake-up call. It's the universe telling you that it's time to stop living a life based on fear and to start living a life based on purpose. Purpose is what will carry you through the darkest times. Purpose is what will help you rise after every setback. And purpose is something that no one can take away from you. The moment you lose everything, you are forced to confront what really matters. And that's where the true strength lies. In your ability to rise from the ashes, to take ownership of your life, and to move forward with a sense of direction and clarity. This is the turning point, the moment when you finally realize that your life is in your hands. No more waiting for circumstances to change, no more waiting for the right opportunity. You are the one who creates the opportunity. You are the one who shapes your future. This isn't a journey of perfection. It's a journey of growth. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. But the difference is, now you know that those setbacks aren't the end. They're just the beginning. They are the lessons you need to grow, the challenges that will turn you into the person you were always meant to be. So, when you lose everything, remember this: you are not defined by your losses. You are defined by how you choose to rise from them. Your true strength is not in avoiding failure, but in how you handle it when it comes your way. And each time you rise, you become more resilient, more confident, and more prepared for the next challenge. Every great success story is built on a foundation of failure. Think of the people you admire, whether they're famous entrepreneurs, athletes, or leaders. Every one of them has faced failure at some point in their journey. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let it stop them. They used failure as fuel, as a lesson that propelled them forward. So when you lose everything, don't see it as the end. See it as a rebirth. See it as the moment when you finally shed the old version of yourself and become who you were always meant to be. This is your opportunity to redefine success on your terms, to build a life that is not based on external validation, but on inner peace, resilience, and purpose. This is the moment when you step into your true power. And when you do, you'll realize that losing everything was never a setback. It was the beginning of your greatest transformation. The truth is, we all face moments in life when it feels like everything is falling apart. We hit a wall, we face unexpected challenges, or we lose something that we thought we couldn't live without. But here's the thing. Those moments are the greatest opportunity for growth. The moment you lose everything, you are given the chance to start over, and this time you get to build it the way you want it. The pain of loss can feel unbearable at first, but it's through that pain that you find your strength. It's through those moments of feeling lost, confused, or broken that you discover your true resilience. You begin to realize that your power doesn't come from external things, it comes from within. It comes from your ability to stand up after falling, to keep going when it feels impossible. Every time you think you've reached the end, you realize it's actually the beginning of something new. When everything falls apart, you're forced to question what you've been doing, and more importantly, why you've been doing it. You see, true success isn't about following the path that everyone else is taking. It's about creating your own path. It's about being authentically you, regardless of what anyone else thinks. This is your chance to rewrite the story of your life. This is your moment to step away from the old narratives that held you back, the stories of doubt, of fear, of not being enough. This is your time to choose the direction you want to go in, to create the life you want to live. The moment you lose everything is when you're finally free. You're free from the expectations, free from the comparison, and free from the judgments of others. You get to choose your own worth. You get to define who you are, not based on your accomplishments or what others think of you, but based on what you truly believe in. When you lose everything, you are not broken. You are simply being remade into something stronger, something better. And as you rebuild, you will discover a version of yourself that you never knew existed. One that is unshaken by external circumstances. One that finds peace and power in simplicity. And one that is unstoppable in the face of adversity. So, don't fear the losses. Don't fear the challenges. Don't fear the hard times. They are the very things that will lead you to the life you were meant to live. And when you look back, you will realize that everything you lost was just making room for what was truly meant for you. The people who succeed are the ones who have the courage to face their fears head-on, who have the strength to rise after every fall, and who have the wisdom to understand that every loss is a lesson. They understand that success is not about avoiding difficulties, but about how you respond when they come your way. The moment you lose everything, you are free to start fresh. You are free to build the life you've always dreamed of. And when you do, you'll realize that losing everything wasn't the end of the road. It was the beginning of something far greater than you ever imagined. When you lose everything, it's easy to feel like you're starting from scratch. You might think you're at the lowest point, with nowhere to go but up. But what if I told you that starting from scratch is actually the most powerful place you can be? At this point, there are no expectations, no limitations. You are free to create whatever you want. You are no longer bound by the things that used to define you. The job you had, the people you knew, the material things you once thought were important. You're free from the need for approval, free from the constant pressure of living up to other people's standards. This is your chance to build from the ground up, to decide what you want your life to look like, and to take full ownership of your future. It's not a burden. It's an opportunity. The slate is clean, and now you get to fill it with exactly what matters most to you. It's important to understand that starting over isn't a sign of failure. It's a choice. You are choosing to take control of your life, to redefine success on your own terms, and to create a life that reflects your values and passions. The road ahead might not be easy. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But remember, every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every time you overcome an obstacle, you become stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the next step. The key to success is not to avoid the hardships, it's to learn to embrace them. The Stoics taught us that life is full of obstacles, but it's how we respond to those obstacles that determines our success. It's about learning to control what we can, our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions, while accepting the things we cannot control. When you lose everything, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that nothing in life is permanent, that everything can change in an instant. But rather than fearing change, embrace it. See it as the chance to reshape your life into something even better than before. It's time to let go of the past and stop living in the shadow of what you've lost. Instead, look forward to the future and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. You are not defined by your past struggles. You are defined by how you choose to move forward. And here's the beauty of it all. You are now in control. You have the power to shape your own destiny, to create the future you've always dreamed of. Your success is not determined by what you've lost, but by what you choose to do with what you have now. Each small step you take today, each choice you make to move forward, brings you closer to the life you want to live. You might not have all the answers right now, but that's okay. Success is not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to keep going, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about trusting in yourself and knowing that you have everything inside you to succeed. So, when you lose everything, don't think of it as a setback. Think of it as a fresh start, a chance to build something new and better. The future is waiting for you to step into it. And you're ready. Because now you know that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to rise again. There's an ancient truth that rings louder than ever. What stands in your way becomes the way. Every challenge, every setback, every loss that you've faced up until this moment has been preparing you for the person you are becoming. And the key to your success isn't in avoiding obstacles, it's in embracing them as opportunities to grow, to evolve, and to move closer to your purpose. You see, every time you face adversity, you have a choice. You can choose to let it break you, or you can choose to build with it. And it's this choice, the choice to build, that sets you apart from everyone else. Most people give up when they hit a roadblock, when life throws them a curveball. But the warriors, the ones who truly succeed, are the ones who learn how to use that pain, that loss, to fuel their growth. When you lose everything, you have nothing left to hold you back. You don't have to live up to anyone else's expectations anymore. You don't have to chase someone else's version of success. You're free to define your own path, to choose what truly matters to you, and to follow that path no matter how difficult it may seem. The Stoics were masters at seeing obstacles as stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius didn't face his challenges by wishing they would go away. He faced them by asking himself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? This mindset is what turned even the most difficult moments into opportunities for personal growth. Every setback you experience is like a weight that's added to your personal growth. The more weight you lift, the stronger you become. The more you push through, the more resilient you become. Every obstacle is an invitation to develop mental toughness and inner strength. Loss is not the end of the story. It's simply the beginning of a new chapter. The real question is, how do you choose to view your struggles? You could see them as punishments, as things that are happening to you, things that are out of your control. Or you could see them as opportunities, as the universe's way of testing your strength and preparing you for greater things. This is where your power lies. It lies in how you choose to frame every situation. You are in control of your perception. You decide whether something is an obstacle or a lesson. You decide whether something is an end or a new beginning. And the way you frame these challenges will determine your future success. Remember, life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Every challenge you face is designed to make you better. Every hardship is there to teach you something valuable. But you have to open your mind to the lessons it brings. Don't just survive the storm. Learn to dance in the rain. The Stoics understood that life isn't fair, but how you respond to life is entirely up to you. When you lose everything, you still have one thing that no one can ever take away from you: your mindset. Your mindset is your greatest asset. It's the lens through which you see the world, and it's the tool that shapes your reality. So, The next time you face a setback, remember this: you are not powerless. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your own fate. It's time to stop waiting for things to get better. It's time to take the reins and create the life you want. The moment you lose everything is the moment you are finally free to build a life that is truly yours. The final step in this journey is acceptance. It's the moment when you realize that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It's the moment when you accept that life will never go exactly as you planned. There will always be ups and downs, moments of success and moments of failure. But none of it defines you. What defines you is your ability to move forward. What defines you is how you choose to rise when you fall, how you decide to take the lessons from each challenge and use them to fuel your next move. The ability to rise is not something you're born with. It's something you learn. It's something you train yourself to do over and over again, no matter how many times you fall. Accepting the reality of life's unpredictability doesn't mean you stop trying or stop caring. It means you stop wasting energy on things you can't control. You stop clinging to the past, stop worrying about what could have been, and start focusing on what you can do right now. Right now is the only moment that matters. The Stoics taught us that our greatest power lies in our ability to control our reactions, not our circumstances. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond, and your response, your choice to keep going, is what will ultimately lead you to success. This is the power you unlock when you lose everything. You realize that you have control over your mindset, your attitude, and your next step. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your future. When you realize that, there is nothing you can't overcome. So, accept that life is unpredictable. Accept that you will face challenges. Accept that you will lose things along the way. But also accept that you have everything you need to rise above it, to transform those challenges into opportunities, and to create a future that is better than you ever imagined. And when you finally understand that your worth is not tied to your possessions, your successes, or your failures, you will have unlocked the ultimate key to true freedom and success. Your worth comes from within. This is the moment when you realize that you are the one who controls your life and that your destiny is in your hands. The moment you lose everything is not the end, it's the beginning. It's your moment to rise, to build, and to create the life you deserve. So take a deep breath. You've made it this far. And you're ready. Ready to step into your power. Ready to rise from the ashes of your past. Ready to create the future you've always dreamed of. The moment you lose everything, you are truly ready to succeed. Because now you know that success isn't something that's handed to you. It's something you create. It's something that comes from your resilience, your ability to keep going, and your refusal to be defined by your losses.